Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is great. I'm always good, and we're diving back into that lab today. We're talking a little Brock Bowers, one of the better prospects overall to come into this NFL draft this past year. We know now the landing spots, and now we can dissect what the potential is, how these players could, manifest all of their skills with their new clubs, and Brock Bowers is one of these guys that we're going to throw around the term generational talent, because that's truly what he is. I love me some Brock Bowers. He is a stellar prospect. So what do you say we dive in? Pros, cons, and a grade score for Mr. Brock Bowers. This year's tight end class wasn't necessarily like last year's. We saw guys like Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid, and we were all super extremely bullish and excited on those two gentlemen to be some very, very fine tight end prospects coming into the NFL. This year, not so much. We got Brock Bowers, and then there's everybody else. But truly, if Bowers was in last year's class, we would probably still rank him above guys like Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid, because he is that good. And I think that, he's going to showcase his talents very early in the NFL just based on how he is as a prospect right now. But we'll talk to the team that drafted him, those Las Vegas Raiders. Round 1, pick 13. And first round talent without question. He was a top, you could argue top 5 prospect in the entire NFL draft. There is no question. His age, his youth, his skill sets, everything does translate to potentially being one of the best tight ends to come out of an NFL draft in a very long time. We see a lot of comps to a lot of great talented tight ends. Will Brock Bowers be, as advertised, I should say? I think that he is pretty damn good. But when we're talking those Raiders, we got the tight end depth chart. It was a very interesting pick for the Raiders. They obviously bucked the trend on need and said, we're taking best possible player on the board, and that was Brock. You're adding it to a Michael Mayer, who they drafted last year. So you're going to see potentially massive double tight end sets, 12 personnel this year with these Raiders, and I do not hate it, especially with a quarterback room. You don't know who's going to be the starter. Aiden O'Connell, is he going to be the guy? We'll see how it does work out. But playing both these tight ends to help assist in the run game. No more Josh Jacobs. You're going to be rolling with guys like Zamir Zeus White and company. So we will see how it does go and shake down. But I do love the fact that you're going to get a little bit more bully, beefy on that line, help protect your quarterback, help assist in the run game, and then not only be multifaceted and multidimensional when it comes to the play action pass and the pass game with both Mayer, who also is a very sound tight end who can catch passes from the back. So I love how these Raiders are looking at this, because you can do so many things with an offense with two very quality, talented tight ends. Last time we saw this was Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. They took the league a storm and a blaze when they were playing tight end together. Maybe we see something of a resurrection in that sense when it comes to that statistical achievement. Harrison Bryant and then Gentry are rounding out your tight end room at this time, but then you're talking about, target share, potential. Who's going to be stealing targets from a Brock Bowers? It is Devontae, okay? And will Devontae still be a Raider when the season is done? Will he get dealt? What will happen? It's all determined on how this offense does move forward. You got Myers, Jacoby Myers. Trey Tucker is one player that not a lot of people are talking about. I'm extremely bullish on this guy as well. I think he could absolutely carve up some teams, especially being that third wide receiver. But now you got a guy like Brock Bowers, clouding the mix for Tucker. I understand why, his name isn't being floated around as much as well. They also signed a Michael Gallup from the Dallas Cowboys. They got Jalen Guyton, DJ Turner to round out their room right now. So, when you're talking about the high-end productivity, potential upside for this Raiders offense, it's going to start with Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, right from day one. Complete mismatches on the field, red zone upside for days. Both gentlemen will be looked upon to be catching touchdowns in the red zone from their quarterback. So we will see. It is a very interesting move for these Raiders, without question, to have drafted a Brock Bowers to, at least, mimic. Everyone's trying to mimic the Travis Kelce situation in Kansas City. Get the high-end, high-productivity tight ends to help aid in your offense. That way you could be more multidimensional, like I'm saying. It is very interesting, very, it's going to be very interesting. I don't know, I'm lost for words because I'm so excited to see what Brock Bowers does in the NFL. But for his measurables, as always, 6'3", 243 is his stature. 21 years of age. Like I said, extremely youthful prospect. Played in 40 contests, y'all. 175 receptions, 25-38 in yards. A nice 14.5 on the average for a tight end is crazy. And 26 receiving touchdowns. Brock Bowers is the epitome of statistical achievement that we want to see coming from a pass-catching tight end. He is that damn good. But for some pros, we know he's got a heaping of them. And like I said, we're going to throw this term around quite a bit, and it is generational talented elite tight end prospect. And I mean, okay, last time we talked about it was, like I said, last year, and then going back to even Kyle Pitts, generational, quote-unquote, was the, stance that a lot of people took. Last year, I think that everyone kind of pulled it back a little bit because there was so many tight ends, quality tight ends coming out of the draft, and Sam Laporta showcased the fact he was the best last year. Will Dalton Kincaid be that guy this year? We will see, but Brock Bowers, again, quote-unquote, generational talented tight end, and nobody can argue that at this point. Fantastic athlete, great footwork. I mean, we're seeing this guy do backflips at his weight. I mean, 6'3", 243. You would have liked to have seen him be like the 6'4", 6'5", 255. But, I mean, he makes it work. It works completely, well for what he does on the field. Just an incredible athlete, and he will showcase that on the field. Speed is very good for the size. I mean, what documented test speed was the one that I found was 4.53 on the 40 time. He never ran at the combine because of that ankle injury. So, I mean, it's okay. We're going to understand he had to, get himself healthy. Speed is very good. And when you watch him on film, he is not one of these guys that is not going to run away from it. He can actually run away from some of these nickelbacks, even these linebackers, slower safeties. He will do that, and he will challenge in the open field. Speed is not a problem for this man. Acceleration is sound, adds to the speed. Is it burst? I'm going to say it's accelerators over burst, but he is a tight end, so we're not looking for him to be, fleet of foot like a running back. Being shot out of a cannon with that first step burst, but I do like the acceleration, very much sound, 1-2 steps in the open field, and he can get around some defensive backs without question. Awareness is top end, body control adjustments. He does adjust to these passes coming his way, and it's not like he had like the elite talented quarterback play, had played with Stetson Bennett, played with Carson Beck, so I mean, Beck is one of these guys everyone's hoping is going to be the dude. I'm still kind of lukewarm on a Beck, but I do like the fact that he's going to be going to a team that is still trying to figure out the quarterback spot. So at least they can utilize Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer as the safety blankets for the younger quarterbacks, which is always the positive. Get them to be the first down getter. Get them to be the high volume PPR upside guys that we are looking for. But he does adjust. Body control is very good. Toe drag swag, even for a tight end, is here for a Brock Bowers. Create separation off his routes that are good. He is that bully. He will push off. He will make people miss in the open field when he is, trying to form his route. It is not top end. But for a tight end, we got to dumb it down on those evaluating tools, and he is very good in that. But he does do the physicality in the open field like nobody's business. He will push off these defenders, and he will create separation that way, man. Turn up elusiveness and speed. It's a plus for this man on the tight end spot. He will make the catch, and he will try to turn upfield and make yak plays. Does this very well because he plays like a wide receiver with the physicality of a tight end. You got to love it. I mean, a big time, he could be like this massive alpha slot mismatch. I mean, it's just one of these situations that you're looking for. The league is turning back to this where you want to have the 12-man personnel. You want to run the football a little bit more. You don't always want to be the full-on quote-unquote passing league, and getting these tight ends allows you to do that. We're seeing a lot of teams morph into this direction with the double tight end sets to make people, make defenses think twice in certain formations and how they're going to defend them. He is a contested catch machine, and he will do this on the regular. You do like that about him. While his arms aren't necessarily the longest that we've seen from a tight end, he's still challenging for these balls, and he will make a lot of plays, whether they are jump balls, whether they are red zone plays. He is making them and coming down with them. You got to love him, and bounces off these tacklers with ease. Like I'm saying, get the ball, yak ability exceptionally strong. He will get the ball in the open field. Something kind of like we saw with Gronk, always like chugging down the field. He looks slower than what he was, but he's able to just, dominate the competition, and I think Brock Bowers definitely going to be in that similar category. Hands are great, soft corralling, and he's going to make a lot of plays for you. And like I said, he's going to be one of these potential generational tight ends. He still is young, so we could see the stat line be very minimal in year one, but as we go year two, year three, and they get a quarterback in Las Vegas, we could see Brock Bowers be one of the best tight ends in the entire NFL. Sound college production, like I said, in his measurables. But for some cons, We got some nitpicky cons, and I mean, everybody's got him. Never hit a 1,000-yard season, but he's a tight end. So we're not going to sit there and say that's a massive con. But if you're talking about, generational quote-unquote talent, you were hoping he would have got 1,000 yards. But I mean, again, his stat line in those 40 games, just absolutely stellar, taking over contests, being that bully playmaker. It's just a comment rather than a con. We know that he's going to eventually get 1,000 yards in the NFL. I mean, there is no question in my mind. More contests, more games, more passes to come his way, being a focal point of an offense, he will get to that 1,000-yard mark. There is no question for me. He can take a lot of punishment, got to learn to protect himself a little bit. We see how many big hits he has taken, and I mean, that's part of his game as well. Very physical, talented tight end. Learn to, absorb, go down, go out of bounds from time to time when you don't have to take those big hits. You don't want to be concussed and, coming off that ankle surgery last year, did deal with that. So, I mean, there is issues. You're going to take a lot of punishment. He is only 21 years of age, so recovery time will be good, but you got to learn just to protect yourself just a little bit, man. He does appear to run clunky and stiff at times. Like I said, we're talking about Gronk, man. Gronk always looked like, the cyborg, robotic-esque type of tight end, but he just made it work, and it works for Brock Bowers as well. More of a statement than a con. Even though he's so supremely athletic, the running ability he almost looked like he put his head down, and he's kind of just, chugging down this field. But again, so much good speed, so much athletic ability, and it does work. So again, statement rather than a con. Like I said, nitpicky on this guy right now. Refine some skills. I mean, perfect your skills. He's a youthful guy, and I mean, that comes with the territory. It's not like I'm sitting here saying that, he needs glaring upside and refinement. It's not. It's just refine what you're good at, and he's good at basically everything. Ball tracking. We have seen some double catching from time to time. The route tree isn't necessary, but he's a tight end, so I'm not going to harp on this like he's a wide receiver. Like some are saying, the route tree is not very good, blah, 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 it needs this. It's just refinement, man. For what he's asked to do at the position, just refine it, perfect the skills, and you will be that much better on the field. Is he George Kittle type of blocking tight end? I've seen a lot of people throwing this out there, and I'm like, is he really the tight end blocker that we're looking for at this point? You kind of want to see him add a little bit more muscle mass. If he's in that 251, 252 range, of straight 10 pounds of muscle, and then, it's not going to inhibit his speed. It's not going to inhibit his game whatsoever, but it could be and make him that dominant blocker that you're hoping that he could be. I don't think he's a liability like some are saying, but I don't think he's George Kittle either. So you got in the blocking category and aspects. I just think he just needs a little refinement in that as well. Add a little bit more muscle mass, a little bit more strength. He will do that in an NFL weight room with an NFL meal plan, and he will get there, no question. And then, like I said, dealt with that ankle injury surgery this past year, which kept him off the field for a few games as well. But he is this good. So we talk for grading purposes. Brock Bowers is that elite level talented, generational talent, like I'm saying. 82.6% for a Brock Bowers. He is that damn good, y'all. And I had him in the same categories of Kyle Pitts coming out of college, of, Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid-esque type of tight end. He is going to be this good. He is this good, and he will showcase his talents. Let's just hope the Raiders utilize him properly, allow the quarterback to build a chemistry and showcase that he is going to be one of the best tight ends that we've seen come out in the past 10 years. So there you have it. That is Brock Bowers, UGA, Georgia Bulldogs product. I'm a huge fan. Everybody is. Everybody knows who he is. Had to do his scouting report, so at least you understand where I'm at with this guy. I think that he's so good, so talented, and barring any unforeseen issues, hopefully these Raiders get themselves a franchise quarterback down the road, and we can absolutely exploit all the beautiful talent that this man does possess, because he is definitely generational in my mind. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What are y'all thinking of Brock? You in, you out? I mean, I don't think I've seen anybody that's out on Brock at this point, but he is that damn good. Where are you picking him in fantasy leagues and redraft? Throw that in the comments. Let's see where you guys are with that one. But we'll see you next time. I am out.